Hey everybody, KC here. So it's the first week of a new year, right? And we all want to be, we all want to be a little optimistic about where things are going. Sometimes it's a little difficult to be optimistic, but I think we all, in our hearts and our souls and our minds, we want to be optimistic. And, we want to have a year in which we lose weight, we get more productive, we're better at relationships. We just want the world to start looking up a little bit. And that's maybe even more fervent now because we've been dealing with COVID for a couple of years now. And, just when you think you've got, you're past it, Omicron or some other variant comes along. I couldn't believe it the other day, by the way. There was a story I was reading which said that two things that the Omicron variant seems to create in people who get it, that, the previous iterations of COVID did not. Pink eye and hair loss. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, I don't even want to think what's next. So I found myself thinking, quite frankly, about, the Mel Brooks song from the 12 Chairs, right? Hope for the best, expect the worst. Some drink champagne, others die of thirst. I'd sing the whole thing, but I'd get into copyright trouble. Anyway, there was a piece I was reading in Politico, a column that was all about optimism. And it was suggesting there are things actually to be optimistic about. And they pulled together a number of different surveys and talked about things that we could be optimistic about. So I wanted to share that with you. Number one, in 2022, the number of electric vehicles that will be available for sale, of electric vehicle models that will be available for sale in the U.S. will be 100. 100 different electric vehicle models. And that's up from 62 last year. So that's a significant increase. There was also a Morning Consult survey that found that 51% of people would consider buying an electric vehicle in the next decade. And that's up from 39% at the beginning of 2021. So I think probably pretty good good news in terms of the environment. Let's see. Maybe we're all going to start to see bridges and tunnels and railroad trains and airports that are going to start to work better, right? Because $550 billion in infrastructure money is going to be flowing into the economy during the coming year. And listen, hopefully that'll be a good thing, although we're all probably get a little ticked off by the traffic jams that some of that stuff's inevitably going to create. I think this is a good thing. Not everybody's going to agree, but 84 of the Standard & Poor's top 100 companies that are going to disclose or have committed to disclose diversity data, right, for the first time. And that's really, really important, I think. And that's up sixfold from July 2020. That's a really, I think, impressive. As companies get more diverse, they're going to be able to understand the people they're selling to, the people they're marketing to better. I think it's good for companies. Here's an interesting one. 22% of U.S. electricity is going to be generated by renewables in the coming year. I think that's really important. Now, listen, it doesn't look like we're going to get to 100% anytime soon, but that's certainly a positive move in the right direction. Let's see. I think this is a good place to end. 77% of adults globally are optimistic about the coming year. Now, it's a little higher globally than it is in the United States. 71% of adults are in the United States are optimistic about the coming year. That's a lot higher number than I ever would have expected. Although, okay, this is where I get to be a little cynical maybe. I suspect that not all 71% of people in the United States are optimistic for the same reasons, but at least people are feeling optimistic. And it's an interesting number. Did you know that almost a third of people in India expect that aliens are going to visit Earth this year? That's according to an Ipsos poll. That's a little weird. But listen, the numbers would seem to be positive, at least in certain places. We have reason to be optimistic, which makes me think I'll move from Mel Brooks. I'll move right over to Monty Python, right? That's maybe the song we ought to be thinking, which is some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. But when you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. You know, it's the first week of January. I've already gotten Mel Brooks' Monty Python Puppies earlier this week into my commentaries, and I've even had a chance to sing. Maybe it is going to be a pretty good year. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.